Have you ever heard of a screening tool called the MCHAT?
I did.
Did your pediatrician ask you to complete it?
In Vietnam, we have no access to those. And even here, I don't think.
So once you came to this country, when she was 5.5 years old at that time, you were not given the MCHAT as well?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'd like to go over the MCHAT and just talk to you about some of the answers that you gave. So one of the questions was, does your child ever use his or her index finger to point at something?
In our cultures, pointing is considered as very disrespectful. It's very rude. So most of the time, the child could not be asked to point things.
Does your child or does your daughter ever look you in the eye?
That's again another area that are kind of a taboo for our cultures too. For the young child, they should not never be able to look at the adult in the eye, because again, that's very disrespectful for a child to look straight into the eyes of the adult.
If you make a face, will your child imitate it?
Again, I mean, that could be another area culturally that we just don't do that quite often. Usually we don't really encourage a child to look up and straight into the eyes or the face of the adult. I found some of that doesn't really fit in our cultures when we're really screening this, because for my case especially, that I cannot really answer those questions.
Tell me how your daughter was then referred for an evaluation for autism.
The very first concern of when I took her to see the PCP was that she very delayed in speech, very delayed in she does have, back then she does have different kind of behavior that might fit in the autism profile, that her PCP refer her right away to the neuropsych to do the testing, and then we figured out that she has PDD-NOS.
And how did that process feel?
For me, for me at the beginning, it's really challenging. Because culturally in Vietnam, we only have one doctor who do everything. But he is like the whole intermediary team that you have to refer to all different kind of specialists to be able to determine exactly what's going on with her. So to go through all that is challenging for me to deal with. From setting up the appointment, and you have to wait, and then you have to fill up the whole, 5 pages of all questionnaires before you go into the appointment, which, some of the terminology, which is really novel for me to understand, and some of those doesn't really fit in my cultures, and I have no idea how to answer that, and many of the questions on that list, I just put NA, because it could be like not applicable for my case.